Hello, my name's Mako.
I'm Marcus, and I'm getting high.
I'm Yasmin. I'm gonna get drunk today.
I'm Max. I'm drinking as always.
I'm Sienna.
Miguel.
Nice to meet you.
And privilege comes in so many different shapes and forms. There's just so many different levels. There's money, there's beauty, there's race.
Or things like having a house and having a bed, having access to water, clean water, and that in itself, in our space right now on this land, is considered a privilege.
It's a thing that people don't really like to talk about because it's very hard to pin down, but it is very much a real thing. Like, what is Western attractive privilege? Like the difference in treatment that people who are attractive according to Western beauty standards. There's very much like a very real difference in treatment for both men and women. I don't think it's acknowledged enough by us, by people. And it's just like any other privilege in that it affects interactions in the subtlest of ways.
In every culture, there's an ideal of beauty.
I'm trying to think collectively, and I'm thinking lighter skin is because even if you look at an Asian culture, they're putting the darker skin at the bottom, lighter skin at the top. They might not look white, but they're lighter skinned. I understand what you're saying, that in every culture there's a look, but I was trying to find the commonality between all the looks because I think that that's what would be the widely accepted worldwide thing. Yeah. I think that one of the main things that I can speak on is light skin privilege.
Me being light skinned comes as a privilege, for sure.
As a means of speaking up for other black people or other colored people, other mixed people, is I definitely try to be a voice because I know I get platformed and I know I get people that listen to me that might not otherwise listen to people.
You know, I have two siblings, a brother and a sister. They're both darker than me. And there are things that they for sure experience that I cannot say that I have ever experienced.
What do you do with if you're aware of your privilege, what should you do about your privilege?
Speak out about it, make other people aware.
Leverage your privilege in hopes of helping the people who don't have that privilege.
Yeah.
What privileges do we have is a better way of looking at it. It all starts with just for me, privilege. It starts with, the privilege of life. Privilege of life. I'm looking for a fancy word, but just small specks of life in this universe.
Waking up every day.
Yeah, waking up every day. I feel privileged to be sitting here right now, breathing this air, and we're just little specks in something that is
just tetrahedrons
Yeah.
floating in space.
Yeah, exactly.
Since you can't really do anything about the privilege you have, at least you can be grateful.
I used to live in Oakland. The house that I lived in it was a house, but it was split into apartments. What do they call it? A duplex? Is that what it's called? Yeah. So I lived in a duplex, and I drive through Oakland often. So I drive by the house, and it's completely different. The neighborhood that I lived in is completely different. The place where I lived, it looks completely different, almost unrecognizable. I didn't even recognize the house when I first saw it. After they repainted it, remodeled it, whatever. I've lived in Alameda for a while now. It's got to be at least 10 years, a little over 10 years. Me and my mom lived in an apartment, which is a lot of people, when I say I live in Alameda, they think I live in a house. No, I live in an apartment. Rent is expensive, but it's not. When we first moved here, it was not as crazy as it is now. Every year our rent goes up annually. We know that it's gonna go up. That's forced me into having more than one job. Where we see it going right now is we're not gonna live here much longer. We're gonna move. We can't afford it out here. It's not even and that's saying that our landlord, he raises it every year, but it's still good compared to what other people are paying out here, you know?
It's crazy to be someone who's actually like seen the before and after. Now that we have so many people here who were not here before, and they see it so much differently, you know? They see it as, oh, I got this job opportunity. I'm gonna, like, people, in the history of time, people migrate, they move all the time, right? You know, so somebody moves across the country for a job, nothing different. People do that all the time. But when you see it change and when you see how people are being negatively affected by it, of course you view it differently. Man, it's crazy because I've seen both sides, you know. In high school, you know, there are people who you go to school with who are being displaced from their homes. The community just decides to get together and help each other out and keep this family, you know, in this complex. 18 families in this complex, you know, not being kicked out. On top of that, it's seeing broken down, you know, family homes that are like, the paint's chipping off, the wood is just cracking, the grass is not that great. Sometimes it's like, it's the hood, you know, or, you know, down the block, these nice condos, you know, $1,500 one-bedroom apartments, like, that's crazy. 200 feet away. And so some people see it as like, oh, you know, the area is becoming nicer, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not for the people who already live there. It's not for the people who are seeing it being taken away from them.
We did eventually get pushed out of our home that we lived in for 12 years. Our landlords had been keeping the rent pretty low for a long time, and then until they weren't anymore, in which they're like, yeah, you guys gotta go. And so that was just the general trend that we witnessed, like living on Bay Farm, like in Alameda, is that you got all these young people working in tech jobs in the city, moving in, because Alameda's become the hotspot for these people. I guess that would be kind of like considered under the umbrella of gentrification. You know, it's not as like violent or it's not as aggressive as the kind of gentrification you see in like places such as the Mission District, places such as like, I don't know, downtown Oakland or like Merritt or something like that. It's not as violent, but it is, I guess it would go into that umbrella. That's my personal experience.
You know, gentrification, it does affect people, and you know, maybe we're not all seeing the direct effects of it, but I think realistically in a few years, I've already known, I can't raise my kids here. I want them to have the experiences I had, but I can't afford it.
I don't know. I feel like the language that is commonly used around gentrification is very aggressive. It does kind of just already kind of paint the narrative tone of how we should feel about this. Like just hearing like Max just like violent. You're describing it as violent. Like just when you paint the narrative tone like that, it kind of stops becoming a discussion of what we're talking about is good or bad.
You know, people that are getting pushed out, people that are affected, we're angry, we're mad. Of course we're going to use those words in that tone when we talk about it. Because we've lived here for more than, we've lived here our whole lives. And now you want us to fucking pick up and leave because other people are coming in, they got money, and they got more money than we do, and they could come here and they're going to make it their shit. I feel like in the future, if I claim the Bay Area, people are going to look at it as completely different as what they do now. The thing that I grew up claiming is not what they're going to envision when I say I grew up in the Bay Area.
But even back to you feeling attacked and describing it as violent, that's because the people who are being pushed out, are feeling like it's personal.
Yeah.
Like you just don't go attack anybody. You're feeling like you're being attacked by someone. You're being preyed upon.
Yeah. Facts.
I just see it as them making money off of.
Well, regardless of whether it is personal or not, like malicious intent or not, the consequences are still the same. They still exist. I don't think they're very malicious in their intent to move into these areas. Like I think they're very benign, actually.
I agree. I think that they don't think about us. They don't realize
that's
that
the thing.
We got pushed out and now they get to move in. I think they say, oh, this is cheap. I can afford this. I want to move here. But
it's just simply not being conscientious about what you're doing.
The society you want to see is a society with people who can consider other people before they make these kind of decisions.
I want to see an unselfish society. I want to see people that think about other people.
Yeah.
So it upsets you when not only if you experience it, but when they like reflecting these ideals that are completely contrary to the ideals that you think would make this place a great place to live in.
Yeah. I think it's what's made the Bay Area a great place to live in is that we're all accepting. We all are. Usually, generally, people are very accepting. They're looking out for each other. They want to, in a way, I feel like we were such a utopia. Like, people from all walks of life came here because they knew they could be themselves and they could live here and people were going to accept them. And I think that that's what's really bothering me about it, is I see that change is coming.
I'm gonna say one of the privileges that annoys me is that it's not socially acceptable for anybody to say nigga. And I think that it's black privilege to be able to say it and kind of monopolize the word.
Okay, if you're going to go there, I'm going to just say, do you not think that black people deserve that privilege since they don't have any other privileges?
I don't think it's about black people. I think it's about monopolizing words. I don't think you should be restricting language.
Period?
No. Because I think you should let people say what they want, what they're thinking, because then then it's out and open. You get to really know who you're talking to, and like if you start constricting like what people can say, then people really start to hide what they say, which they're gonna do anyway.
Okay, so
Do you want people saying nigga behind your back? They're gonna say it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say that don't make rules that you can't really reinforce like that, especially socially.
yeah.
Like it's like they're gonna say it behind their back. They're gonna say the word anyway.
But
Let
there
them
are
say it in
things
front
that
of you so you can know.
There are things that you can't say. Like there are forms of speech that are not protected by the First Amendment. Like there are various forms of.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about if it's protected by if it's that are not protected, then that's fine. But I'm saying just with the word nigga, like in general I don't really like restricting speech at all. Like there's words you can say, saying you can't say certain words.
So do you let your friends say nigga? Your non-black friends say
Yeah.
nigga? Yeah, so you don't care.
Because then you know.
But like, what's your point then? You know that they're gonna say it and you're still okay with it. You're not gonna educate them. You're not gonna tell them
I mean,
what it means to other black people.
because they only say it around me.
Okay, so you're giving them the
The
nigga card,
option
black card,
option to say whatever they want. If they can use it on saying the word nigga, they can use it on other shit, right?
I don't know. I tell my friends don't do it.
I mean, yeah, you should tell them not to
I'm
do
like,
it if you don't want them to do it.
Because I feel like if you say it around me, you're comfortable, and you might say it around the wrong person, and you might get your ass beat. You might get your shit tore up.
And I think that's fine. Let them get their ass beat.
No,
Let them
if
say
they're
that
your
shit.
friend and if you care about them, why would you let them do that?
It's
Why would
also
you not
trusting your
make them
friend.
aware?
It's like trusting your friend to say like we talk certain ways when we're in certain circles. Like
Yeah.
we're within like this group of people, and like you kind of have this level of understanding that like you can say this around me, but I know that you're smart enough to not say that around like just generally around people.
Sometimes you can put that trust in your friend, but sometimes they don't realize it and that shit just slips up. Just like me, I cuss all the time. Sometimes I don't even mean to, and I'll cuss in front of a little kid, and I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't mean to do that. Same thing with that word or any other word. If you want to talk about any other word that's going to offend people, don't let them get comfortable with it, because what if they slip up? Then they get their ass beat.
Yeah, you are
Like,
looking out for your
I mean,
friends in that sense.
Yeah, we were talking about specifically a word, but I'm just saying like I don't think you should really be concerned about really like offending people about your ideas. This is not an idea, but with this word, I think you should like if it takes you like getting offended, like people are offending you, and then you choose not to say that word, that's fine.
Mhm.
If you come to the conclusion and not say that word, I think that's great. But I don't think it should be society saying you can't say this word. Like let them learn that they can't say this word. Like if that's what it really is in society, that you can't say this word, they're gonna figure out that I don't want to say this word.
You think that they need a hard lesson?
I think they need to be able to make that choice for themselves.
Fair. I agree.